Yo, what's up everyone, Starry Ray here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing AFC rankings. Mid-season rankings are here. We are going into week 9 and the trade deadline has happened. There's a lot of stuff to discuss with these teams. However, even though I'm going to talk about the trade deadline with some of these teams, I'm not going to be grading those trades. It's just what they have done so far. So the trades may help them in the future. We just don't know yet. And I'm just going to be talking about what they have done this season. And before we get into the mid-season grades, I think we should talk about some of my preseason grades, or just where my rankings, where I thought some of these teams were going to be. As you can see, I was a lot higher on teams in the AFC than I was in the NFC. Some of the teams did not pan out, like the Chargers and the Bengals have been inconsistent, and teams like the Colts and the Raiders have just been disappointing. But even so, there's still teams that really have surprised me, like the Dolphins. And yeah, coming into the season, I was high on a lot of teams, and a lot of teams have fell and some have risen. And yeah, before we get into the mid-season rankings, make sure you like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more content. Alright, we're just gonna jump right into it. The first team on this list is the Raiders, and coming into the season, I ranked the Raiders B. And so far during the season, the Raiders have been very disappointing. They've only won 2 games and they have not looked good at all, which is very surprising because I thought with Davante Adams joining their team, I just thought they had a decent receiver pool and I thought he would just make it better, but they have not looked good and they haven't been able to win games, and the offense has been so inconsistent. In the last game they played against the Saints, it really just shows that how bad they have truly been. During the Saints game, they put up 0 points. They got blown out by the Saints, an Andy Dalton led team. And yeah, that is just so disappointing because they should be a lot higher and they're not. They have a run game, they have offense, they have a decent quarterback. They just haven't been able to put it together, and it's just, yeah, it's very frustrating. If I was a Raiders fan, I would be so sad because man, they have all the potential in the world and they just suck. So I'm going to be putting the Raiders in the F tier just because, man, they've been so disappointing. I think a lot of people thought they were going to be really good this year, and to be 4th in the West is just kind of awful. After that is the Ravens, and coming into the season, I ranked the Ravens A. Now, so far this season, the Ravens have been very inconsistent for my personal liking. I thought they would look a lot better than they have. Now, they are 5-3. And they are the best team in the AFC North, but I thought they would look a lot better. Some of their losses have been very questionable, especially in the 4th quarter. They just kind of like fumble the bag, they have games and they can't pull it out. They've looked decent, but I just thought they would look a lot better. Some of their losses, like the Giants and the Dolphins, but the Dolphins had that amazing comeback. It was just kind of crazy because I really thought the Ravens were going to pull that out. And yeah, they've just looked kind of iffy a bit, but I still think they're a very strong, solid team. But you know what? Lamar Jackson is going to make plays. Regardless of who his receivers are, Lamar Jackson is going to make plays. And with the addition of Roquan Smith, I think that they're going to be a lot better as well. But we got to grade them right now. I'm going to be putting them in the C tier. I had them in the A tier, but I got to put them in the C tier right now because they've been a little disappointing. Now they can kick it up a bit. But yeah, for where I thought they would be in the A position to just drop down to the C, they've just been kind of disappointing. I gotta put them in the C. The next team on the list is the Bills, and coming into the season, I had the Bills in the S tier. Now, I don't think I really need to talk about the Bills. They've lived up to what I expected them to be. They're the best team right now in the AFC, and yeah, they're going back in the S tier. They've looked nothing but what I expected. They've looked just perfect. And yeah, I really expect them to continue to make that deep push in the postseason. Next on the list is the Bengals, and coming into the season, I gave the Bengals an S grade. Now, the Bengals have not lived up to that S grade at all. They have been 100% iffy. Some of their losses have looked really bad, like just recently against the Browns where they got blown out. Yeah, they've just kind of looked awful. They started the season off very slow, and the Steelers won a game. The Steelers stole a game from them. Yeah, the Bengals have just been so inconsistent. They're 2nd in the AFC North with a 4-4 record. But the 4-4 record is not bad necessarily. From where I expected them to be, like Super Bowl contenders again, I thought the offensive line was going to get better with Lyle Collins, and that just didn't come true. I thought, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, I really believed in them. And yeah, it hasn't lived up to my expectations of them. And I think a lot of people's expectations of the Bengals were to be in that playoff caliber again, the postseason contenders. Like realm again, and they right now it's very like you can't for sure say that they're going to be in that position again, and because of that I'm going to be giving them a C grade. They have potential to do a lot better. next coming weeks. But with Jamar Chase out, it is going to be iffy to see how this team does. But as of right now, they've been a C quality team. We're sticking with the AFC North, and the next team is the Browns. The Browns are 3-5, and coming into this season, I had the Browns in the F tier. I thought they were going to be pretty bad. I did sleep on Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and their defense. I'll admit it. I 100% admit it. I gotta give them credit because their defense was pretty good. And Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are dogs. They run that ball. And I was sleeping on Amari Cooper. I gotta give credit to Amari Cooper as well. The Browns are 3-5 right now, which is very surprising to me because I didn't think they would win any games. I thought they might go winless. And like I already said, I was sleeping on them tremendously. I was sleeping on some of their assets that they have because they've been a lot better than what I expected. I gotta put them in the D tier. Now, I would like to put them in the C tier, but I don't think they're on the same par as some of the C teams. So I got to put them in the D tier. They've been a lot better than I expected, but they're still the Browns, and their wins have not been that great besides the Bengals win. After that is the Denver Broncos. Coming into the season, I had the Broncos in the C category. I gave them a C grade because I didn't know what to expect from the Broncos. I thought they could be good, and I thought they could be potentially bad, but I did not expect them to look this bad. The Broncos have been one of the most disappointing teams in the AFC. They're so disappointing because they have a stellar defense, but their offense has just looked so awful, and Russell Wilson has looked awful, man. Geno Smith has looked better than Russell Wilson, honestly. And yeah, the Broncos have been just so awful, and the offensively it's just been, it's just not there at all, and that's why the Broncos are so disappointing. I didn't think the offense would be this much of a problem coming into the season. That's why I gave them a C grade. I thought it would be maybe just stutter. I didn't know if they would win that many games. But yeah, they've looked like it's just looked bad, and because I had so little really expectations for them, I'm going to be putting them in the D tier. Though they've looked awful, and though the season might be over for them, I'm still going to put them in the D tier because I kind of expected this. Like, I didn't have them in the A. I didn't have them above C. I didn't think they would be that good. I thought there's a chance, but realistically, I didn't think they were going to be that good. Now, I didn't think they would look this bad, but I'm still going to be putting them in the D tier because I didn't have that much high expectations for them. After that is the Texans, and coming into the season, I had the Texans in the F tier. I gave the Texans an F because I didn't really expect them to win that many games or be that good, and they've honestly continued to be that. They have a 1-5 record and a tie. But yeah, I didn't really expect them to be much. I'm not the biggest Davis Mills fan, but he's looked pretty decent, I won't lie. And they have Dameon Pierce, who's like one of the best rookie running backs so far this season. So yeah, I didn't really have that much expectations for the Texans, and they've kind of just lived up to that. I'm still gonna put them back in the F tier. After that is the Colts, and coming into the season, I had the Colts in the B tier. I gave the Colts a B grade because I thought that their team was going to be a lot better. I know they had some offensive powers, just like Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has been just MIA. He's really been MIA. And I thought Matt Ryan was going to be serviceable. I thought he was going to be serviceable. I didn't think the offensive line was going to be so bad, but the offensive line is just terrible, and Matt Ryan just couldn't do anything, man. I felt really bad for Matt Ryan because he was just getting destroyed out there. And yeah, the Colts have just kind of not lived up to expectations, and Matt Ryan has been benched. So because of that, I had such high expectations for them in the B category, gave them a B grade. Coming into this season, I gotta put them in the F. They've just really looked really bad, and now Matt Ryan's benched. The offensive line is awful. Jonathan Taylor has been MIA. Yeah, I gotta put the Colts in the F tier. After that is the Jaguars, and coming into the season, I had the Jaguars in the D tier. The Jaguars have kind of lived up to my expectations. They started off really hot. They had that one game where they were keeping up with the Eagles, and I thought they were gonna win that game. But the Eagles are just above everyone else, and they had a really good win against the Chargers. Now Justin Herbert was hurt, but they looked really good. Trevor Lawrence looked really good that game, and they have the star running back Travis Etienne, who's also just really good and having a crazy year. But because I didn't really have that much expectation for them coming into the season, I'm going to continue to put them in the D tier. They've kind of just lived up to what I expected them to. After that is the Chiefs, and coming into the season, I had the Chiefs in the S tier. The Chiefs are a very great team. I think we could all admit that the Chiefs are a great team. And they're still going to go back in the S tier, and I think they have a great chance at the postseason. With Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they got it, and Juju has also started to look good for them. They're cooking over there. Like if they're getting Juju, to actually play for them and actually like be great, that's kind of crazy, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting them back in the S tier. Yeah, I just had my Steeler bias come out right there, but yeah, the Chiefs are going back in the S tier. You know, they're the Chiefs. After that is the Chargers, and coming into the season, I had the Chargers in the S tier. Now the Chargers have just been so riddled with injuries, man. It's been awful. Like Keenan Allen missed like 4 games this season. He only played like the first game and then he was out. Man, it was just kind of awful. Justin Herbert got hurt in the Chiefs game. You know, he's still been hurt. He's playing through injury. Yeah, man, the Chargers season has been awful. Austin Eckler didn't start, and I just thought they were gonna have a lot better season. That's why I had them in the S tier. I just, coming into the season, I thought all the moves they made, especially on defense, getting Khalil Mack, I thought they were gonna be really good. And it just hasn't really lived up to expectations at all. Now the Chargers are still winning games. They have a 4-3 record, so they're winning games and they're somehow pulling games out, but they haven't lived up to how dominant I thought they would be. And because of that, I'm going to be putting them in the C tier, just with the other teams that I thought were going to be a lot better and just kind of haven't been as explosive as I thought they were. After that is the Dolphins, and coming into the season, I had the Dolphins in the D tier. Now I gotta give my respect to Tua. I was not a Tua fan coming into the season, and just his career, I was not a Tua fan. I didn't believe in him, and he's been proving me wrong, man. He's really been proving me wrong. Giving him Tyreek Hill really unlocked his game. He's pushing the ball down the field. You know, his arm is accurate. He got the power. Man, they're looking good. They're third in the AFC East, but I think they're gonna go up to probably the second, because they're not gonna top the Bills. But the Jets are most likely going to fall down, and I think that they're going to do it. I think the Dolphins should be second. You know, I think they're going to be second, and I got to give them such a higher grade because I was sleeping on them. They look good. Mike Daniels, I was sleeping on him as well. He's made Tua look like a star. Man, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, man, like they've looked, their offense has been killer. And because of everything I said, I gotta put them in the A tier, man. I really gotta put them in the A tier. Now they're not up there with the Bills and the Chiefs yet, but man, I mean, we gotta see how the rest of the season pans out. If they're continue to the cooking, they could easily go up there, you know. But as of right now, they're an A quality team. They're really, really good. After that is the Patriots, and coming into the season, I had the Patriots in the C tier. Now the Patriots have kind of lived up to my expectations. I didn't think they were going to be really good. I like Mac Jones, but even then, I didn't think they were going to be really good. And yeah, they've kind of been okay. They've just been okay. They haven't really done anything. Yeah, I'm going to be putting the Patriots in the D tier this time. I just don't really like their team as much as I did coming into the season. I think, you know, a lot of teams are better. Teams, like, I thought they were going to be better than the Dolphins, and obviously that is not true. After that is the Jets, and coming into the season, I had the Jets in the D tier. The Jets are a team that I was 100% sleeping on. I did not think that their defense would be this good. Sauce Gardner was, you know, a standout, a standout, man. I don't think I even need to address that. Their defense has been pretty good, and Breece Hall was actually carrying their offense. And now that Breece Hall is out, Zach Wilson has to carry the team, and it just hasn't looked the same. We've only seen one game so far, but it didn't look that good against the Patriots. It's hard to rank the Jets because I'm not grading what they're going to be in the future. I'm grading what they've been so far, and what they've been so far is really good. They're outstanding. You know, I had low expectations for them, and they've succeeded on every front. So I think I'm going to be putting the Jets in the B tier because they have actually been very surprising to me. I did not think they would be this good, and now going in the future, there's potential that they're going to drop. But as of right now, I got to put them in the B tier because I didn't think they were going to be this good, and to be, you know, second in the AFC East, yeah, that's pretty good. After that is the Steelers, and I don't really think I need to talk about the Steelers. I do the Steelers recaps every week. You guys already know. I don't think I really got to talk about the Steelers. The Steelers have been ultra disappointing coming into the season. I had them in the B tier. I thought they were going to be very good. I thought they're going to be better than the Dolphins, and yeah, man, they've just been really awful. They've been very awful. I got to put them in the F tier. They haven't lived up to expectations, you know, even if they were glorified expectations, they have not lived up to it. And this is just a rebuilding season for them. And finally, we move on to the Titans, number 1 seed in the AFC South. Coming into the season, I had the Titans in the C tier. Rating the Titans is kind of hard because I'm not a huge fan of the Titans. I'll be honest, I'm not huge on the Titans. And some of their wins have been on low teams, you know, they've like the Texans, the Commanders, you know, and the Colts. Some of those wins are not very, like high quality wins for the Titans. So while they are beating up on the teams that they're supposed to be, I'm still not that, I'm still hesitant on giving them a high grade. I'm going to be putting the Titans in the C tier just because I don't think they have that many great wins under their belt. And that is my list. We are done with the mid-season rankings. So far this season has been very surprising. Like some of the teams I was low on, like the Jets and the Dolphins, are high on my list now, and the teams like the Ravens and the Bengals that I was very high on have fallen. They've fallen. They haven't lived up to expectations. So yeah, anyways, drop a comment, tell me how you feel about my list, tell me what team I'm sleeping on, tell me where you would have some of these teams. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more content. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.